Hello, class. This is Mrs. Thompson. Today we're going to go over your page numbers 11 and 12 and go ahead and get that out. I want to correct it together. I think it's really important that you correct your own work so you can see what you got right and wrong, and I can go over some of them that are maybe a little more difficult. Anytime I'm going a little too fast or you need to catch up or get out a certain page or your math book, pause the video. Okay, so we're going to get started. So on page 11, you started with number 12. So number 12, letter A, is A, C, and E. Those are the ions that had a negative charge because they had the negative number in front of them, such as this. So letter A said -3. That's a negative charge. Okay. Letter B, the charges that are opposite, so opposite numbers are like 3 and -3, 2 and -2. And the opposite charges are A and D, B and E. Letter C is C. Maybe they did that on purpose. So it said which one has no opposite, and C was a -2, and there is no other +2 in the chart, so we know that's the one. I'm going to move on. Number 13, the opposite of -17 is +17. Number 14, I want to show you on a number line. So when I'm looking at number 14, it says what number is 4 units left of 0? So if I drew 0 and I went back 1, 2, 3, 4, I end up at -4. Everybody see that? Does that make sense? Number 15 is 2. Number 16 is 15. Number 17 is 12. Number 18 is 19. Okay, number 19. Did Coco lose or gain weight? Coco gained weight. So plus numbers were gaining weight and negative numbers were losing weight. Sometimes gaining something is a good thing or a bad thing. Sometimes losing something is a good thing or a bad thing. If we're talking about money, gaining money is a good thing. Losing money is not. If we're talking about weight, maybe gaining weight could be a bad or a good thing depending on what your goals are. So don't always just assume positive and negative mean good or bad. It's things going up or things going down. So letter B, ladies. Letter C, lady and Rocky. Letter D, Sparkies. A 0 means there's no change in weight. We didn't go up, we didn't go down. Letter E is losing 6 pounds. Now, we can write it -6, but you can't really have -6 pounds, so we interpret the negative as a loss of 6 pounds. And letter F is no, because Lucky lost 6 pounds and that wasn't meeting their goal. Number 20 is 12 units. Number 21 is 4 units. Number 22 is 0 units. Number 23 is 14 units. It's really important to write units. If we know it's feet, we write feet. If we know it's inches, we write inches. But if we don't know what it is, we can write units, and that is the more generic term. Number 24, letter A is 7 points. Letter B is Kaylin, and letter C is Shauna because she's the only player with a positive score. You also had to do number 27. I want you to put a star next to this in wherever you did this assignment, and I want to discuss this with you at your Red Track meeting or whoever your EA is. I go over that problem. If you have any questions on that problem between now and then, just email me and I'll help you figure it out. We're going to go ahead and start taking notes on 1-2, which means module or chapter 1, lesson 2. I'm going to be on page 15 if you want to follow along. Either way, I need you to take these notes in your math notebook. We're going to do some you try problems, and if I'm going too fast or you need to stop to write something down, please pause the video. So in your math notebook, label this page of notes 1-2, so you know what you're taking notes on, and we're going to learn about inequalities. So what word do you see in inequalities? Equal. But because of this word part right here, we know they're not equal. So instead of an equal sign, we have these. And we're going to stick with these two. I'm sorry, that came out ugly. Let's fix that. We have this and this. Now, you may have been in class before where the teacher told you, just think of this as an alligator, and the alligator eats the bigger number. Well, I am telling you that is not going to work for math. So we need a better system. So instead, I want you to think of this opening to the bigger number. That's a bigger side. This side's bigger. Look, it's bigger. So it opens to the bigger number. I also think a good rule of thumb when we're doing these videos is if I write it, you write it in your math notebook. Okay? And then if we're going to open to the bigger number, we're going to point. See how it's pointing to the small number. Okay? This is going to help you when the math gets harder. You don't want to just keep talking about alligators eating numbers because it's going to be ridiculous when you're older here. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and read the example from the book. And I want you to follow along with me. So I am on page 15. In 2010, Sacramento, California received 23 inches in annual precipitation. That means rain. In 2011, the city received 17 inches in annual precipitation. In which year was there more precipitation? So I'm going to show you on a number line. I'm going to erase this. You just keep going with your notes. So on a number line, if I start at 17, and I go 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay? So in 2010, this is how much rain. And in 2011, the next year, they only received this amount of rain. Because 23 is on the right side of the number line, on the right side of 17, we know it's bigger. So when I'm comparing 17 and 23, I open my sign to the bigger number. Okay, and I point to the smaller number. Now, this is why this is good, because if I switch this, I'm not confused. I still open to the bigger number. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so I want you to try a couple. So in your math journal, or math notebook, I'll call it both sometimes, do you try, and we'll call this one letter A. I want you to compare negative 10 and negative 2. I want you to compare negative 6 and 6, which remember these are opposites. Negative 6 is opposite of 6. And I want you to compare, let's do negative 7 and negative 8. Okay, so write those in your math notebook. I want you to actually try it. Turn the video off for a second. You try it. Who cares if you make a mistake? I'm going to show you the right answer in a second. So turn the video off. Okay. I want you to think about these numbers as money. And when you have a negative, because we know it's a loss, think about losing that money. When we have a positive, think about having that money in your pocket. So to compare these two, really ask yourself, would you rather lose $10 or, $10 or $2? I'd rather lose no money, but I'd rather lose $2. So if you think about it, that's actually the bigger number, because being down only $2 is better than being down $10. So we're going to open our sign to that bigger number. Okay, so same with this. Would you rather have lost $6 or have $6 in your pocket? We'd all rather have $6 in our pocket, so we're going to open to the bigger number. Now this one's a little tricky. I want to show you this one on a number line, okay? So when I'm looking on a number line, if I'm at negative 6, then negative 7, then negative 8, then negative 9, didn't we learn that the numbers on the right side are bigger? So wouldn't negative 7 be bigger than negative 9? Oh, I'm sorry, the negative 8? Yes. And here's the other way you can tell that is I'd rather lose only $7 than $8. Okay, so if you think of it as a loss, again, you really can't go wrong. Okay, so hopefully this makes sense. You can go ahead and start the next part of your assignments this week. And if you have any questions, please email me. Thanks, guys.